And we are back, coming in with yet another ZvP for you, coming in on Zen LE. Suppose I'll take this Mr. Barcode over here, which we will not reveal who they are quite yet. But we have in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Zen LE, Master Mave Calm, with humanity in order to achieve buffs, but also debuffs. And then you can like be charging up with a right click, and then you go pachoo and what not. We have in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, all the way from the Republic of Korea, representing Jenner Greenwings Jaguar. We have the Big Brain Protoss. We have SOS. A Tiger 8
Mate, you don't even know. You didn't even know what we're in right now. Okay, we were talking about the region. We were talking about seeing C players. We were talking about Mia, Micah, and Demi. You know, repping right. Geohen coming in for Philippines. Here we have the best player in the ANZ region, hands
from
down,
New Zealand,
undisputed, representing New Zealand. He also has dual citizenship with the UK, but that doesn't matter. Really, he's from New Zealand.
Yeah, it's not absolutely. Yeah,
it is the Zerg player. It is RiSky, mate.
Manine, take a bit of a risk,
mate.
Manine.
This is the ANZ hope right now.
That he is right now.
You know who this is? This is Paul.
This is the guy who just.
This is. Remember, Paul was Captain America. Yep. This guy, he's fucking Captain Australia right here.
He's Captain Sheep. He's Captain Sheep, lad. If that's not trademarked by a Nazi.
General NZ, mate.
No, he's Captain Maori. That is who he is.
What he is the last hope.
That he is.
That's what he is.
That he is. I don't care what that flag is, because you know what? New Zealand also has that flag on it.
So, flag.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, like we spoke about it, right? Who else is here? Like Probe hasn't played in a single qualifier, neither has Cether, the other like ANZ players. You know, we just had Ozcraft, you know, they were talking about how like passionate they were. Mate, RiSky, he's pulling his weight. He's repping the region in the IEM Katowice qualifiers. What a god.
What a god. And I do believe right now he is staying in Korea as well.
Yeah.
So he should definitely be on somewhat even footing with his opponent. His opponent, though, it's a tough one. It is the Big Brain himself.
Mate, it's open. It's left open.
But
going in.
Left open.
Going in with the links. Oh, he's going for the pylon as well. He's going to see pirate.
Can you do it?
Oh my god, he's fixing it down.
Still.
Yeah.
Pylon will go down. And only now is he going to try to rebuild or wall off, I should say. Doesn't even get to so far. And so many probes are starting to go down.
Mate. I just realized we don't have game heart, but oh my god, the Flood of Links is coming in. He lost.
Flood of Links is coming in.
And probes. He's going to surround everything.
Open. Yeah. We got killed.
GG.
GG. And we were telling you about Pro ANZ hopes. There we go. And this is a qualifying match as well.
This is a qualifying match. This is a best of 5.
It is a best of 5. It was 1G. It was a game, and I wanted to say it. I thought that this was. I already thought that the series was going to look similar to a series that we casted during the NA qualifiers, RiSky versus Parting, but not at all. RiSky showing up with some very, very different plays, and SOS showing himself to be a very different player than Parting.
Yeah, SOS, you know what? He came into this series, he was like, who the hell is RiSky, man? Who is this guy? Like, I'm not even gonna try and cheese him. I'm not even gonna SOS him. Yeah. I'm gonna play normal. I'm gonna play straight up. Hey, Mate,
it's
he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
Like
he wasn't
ready.
ready.
He was not ready.
Captain New Zealand.
Captain Kiwi.
Captain. That's better. Captain Kiwi.
There we go.
Captain
I can't believe it took this long. I can't believe it took us 3 attempts, including Steel Mold and chat, to come up with Captain Kiwi.
Captain Kiwi with a K.
Tis.
Beautiful.
He is. Now, what I want to find really interesting, which I guess we'll talk about it as in the middle of the game after the intros, but it's. So King Kiwi, Dante is suggesting in chat. But speaking of which, we do not have King Kiwi, but rather the opponent that King Kiwi is currently, whatchamacallit against, the Red Protoss himself, the big brains with the big balls and the big trophies and the big money. We have, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the Red Protoss, known for his very tricky plays, but not really doing it yet so far in this series, although we'll find out. We are only in Game 2. The Red Protoss, representing the Republic of Korea, as well as Jin Air Greenwing's Jaguar. You see him as a barcode, but he is, in fact, SOS. A tiger ain't my mother.
Mate, you didn't even know. I'm standing up right now. I was standing up since Game 1. All right, we need to enunciate. We need our diaphragms ready for this.
Does your boner not go down?
Captain Kiwi himself.
Is there
in the top left-hand corner? In the top left-hand corner of Nightshade LE, we have representing New Zealand, representing Zerg. He's also kind of representing the UK, but we don't really talk about that.
Yeah, we don't really talk about that country.
It is RiSky.
I mean, does that country really exist? Last I heard, they were like part of the greater EU Commonwealth, right?
Man, I have no idea.
But yeah, what I was going to say that I find interesting is that... Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say that I didn't get to see if SOS was
pro
blocking. Okay,
yeah, the pro blocked it.
There we go.
But yeah, what I find interesting is that, as he was saying, SOS doesn't really know RiSky. I think he may have seen the name pop around, but definitely never played against him. And what is interesting is that it comes from the older days, particularly in Brute War and the early days of StarCraft 2, is that when Koreans play against someone they typically don't know, they go very ham on the cheese. They will go all out as a form of a skill check until their opponent is able to hold it. Then they'll be like, okay, you deserve a standard game now. But we actually see it the other way around, the foreigners skill checking the Korean.
So we don't. We may have to check. We don't know when RiSky got to Korea. We don't know how long he's been there. We know he is there now, but
a couple of days ago, he was playing in the the last time he was playing in the Korean qualifiers. He was playing for Britain, I believe.
Yeah.
It was very recently his move.
Do we know he was in Britain?
I'm fairly certain he played the NA qualifiers from Britain. That's for sure.
Okay.
And by that's for sure, I mean I'm 90% sure, but slowly go. I was sure. I was very, very sure. But then you had to put the seat down in my mind. Why do you do this to me? Like, I'm increasingly getting less sure. I was sure. I was 100%. I was gonna throw down and be like, "Yo, RiSky, you were in Britain last week," and I would have been telling you. I was willing to bet the deed to my house, but no.
Now he was nowhere near Britain. Now he wasn't even in Korea. He was in fucking Australia, mate. He was on his way to Ozcraft. Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, we don't know how long he's been there. We don't know if they face each other on the ladder. Even if they did, I imagine RiSky. Exactly, I imagine RiSky plays in a barcode. But yeah, it's important to bear in mind, like, you know, maybe RiSky has a little bit more experience playing against SOS or knowing that he plays against SOS. But we have all of these adepts coming in there.
And yeah, he's a very, very reputable player, and he's showing a little bit of his reputation doing.
Ooh, nice. There's no Jones here.
Yeah. There are no Jones here. That was a very nice pull. I think RiSky has played against this sort of Glaive Adept build for quite some time.
Well, like because that quote unquote natural was delayed so much, like there just weren't drones there. Period.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a
Well, he was
nice,
starting
like,
to transfer it into the natural, but then he decided, oh, that is not a good idea.
yeah. So no economic damage really done yet so far, and there are so many Lings out already. So RiSky should be fine against these Adepts.
Oh,
Doesn't
we
even
will
capture
see.
them.
This is a very good positioning for SOS.
Yeah, there are so like the reinforcements meet up, and now there are so many more.
Yep, and Glaives is almost done. The roaches are out, but SOS is starting to snipe them one by one. Really not losing too much. Ooh, but he cannot cut out here.
Yeah, and as time goes by, more and more roaches are getting morphed. So yeah.
As time just walks by behind a RiSky in the forward team house.
Yeah, he should maybe back off. Like he's posturing here, but like I don't think he should ever commit to anything. I feel like that may be a mistake, but we'll see what SOS decides to do with this. Ooh, at the same time, RiSky is trying to break in. Yeah, he's gonna get the Stalker actually.
Yeah, but I think the Adept and Sentry will be enough. So you have the Adepts, they are once again doing that dance, that sort of weak like dance. There's a lot of roaches.
Yeah, and there are no drones
SOS
here. Like it's fine really for RiSky.
I think SOS is playing the dance well enough. He is making RiSky lose quite a bit of mining time. If you look at the worker count, SOS is almost 10 ahead.
Yeah.
But that's not really going to matter if this push.
Well, it's important to note that it's not like RiSky has been losing drones, he's just been choosing not to make them. And he's pushing out across the map with a very strong army with Roach Ravager Ling. It does get scattered though by these shades. Yeah, this does get scattered by SOS. And it's gonna be all about
Adepts a little out of position, man.
Yeah. SOS, he's taking this very seriously. He has 3-4 shield batteries made. He has a bunch of sentries. It's gonna be all about the force fields.
I very much like this move by SOS. He was very aggressively defending, and he just sent his shade back so he could go behind enemy lines. Now, unfortunately, he will not have the range here to really deal with the Roaches or the Ravagers, but he should be safe from the Lings for the time being.
Yeah. On the other side of the map, Adepts do get into the third mineral line, and he does lose 7 workers. It does get cleaned up in the end, and now RiSky can focus all of his attention on this, but he did lose those workers. So if RiSky doesn't end it, and it looks like he won't,
that's a dead.
At that disadvantage.
He absolutely will. RiSky behind this was also started to drone up, which I think you mentioned, but I did was. I think you mentioned that, but I forgot that you did.
Yeah, and RiSky does get that a bad supply block there. He's making 5 overlords now, 3 even, to try and alleviate that.
Do you think SOS could try to go for a push? He's got a lot of sentries. He's got quite a number. Okay, I was gonna say he's got a lot of sentries. He's got quite a number of immortals. Do you think if he gets a Warp Prism behind us, he could try to go for a push while expanding?
With a Warp Prism, 100%. Yeah, you can do so much with that.
Okay, getting his third.
Yeah, and he is trying to clear up the area around his base. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We do have a Warp Prism on the way, as well as that third. He does have to be careful though not to get caught.
Yeah, absolutely does not want that to happen. There's that run by, and the armies do meet in the middle of the map, and it does chase SOS back quite a bit. He's gonna have to defend this, cancel a third, nicely done. But I think RiSky's army might not entirely be
the immortal.
He does not want to lose the immortal, or or the Warp Prism is a very nice concave from RiSky, but the force fields are fantastic from SOS.
Yeah, RiSky's committing to this
shield helping a lot as well. And he's isolating the Roach army. That is the big thing to consider. He's making sure that the Roaches are not fighting at their full force in their concave. And he's getting more drones behind this.
Oh, yeah. This is actually probably the more important thing, that drone damage is being done at the same time. RiSky's drone count getting lower and lower. Like right now they're at equal drone counts, and that's not like what you want really against a Protoss player at this stage of the game. To be fair, SOS, his third is delayed, but is he gonna commit to the shade?
Does not, yeah. But even if he did, I think there's just enough sentries here that these immortals will have a buffer. Very nicely isolated Raptors once again. But this is a choke point, and in a choke point, I think I actually favor the Roaches. I'm not sure why I do. It's probably wrong to do so, but
Yeah. Oh my God, the
Probably
roaches are
correct.
fighting the rocks actually right now. I don't know if that was intentional.
It is, and once again, SOS. I feel like a broken record at this point, but these force fields are on point. He is just preventing any kind of backup. And he gets a base
And
for
especially with the war prism there, like he can just reinforce like continuously.
This would have been
until it does get picked off.
This would have been a very deadly flank again, if not for the force fields. SOS playing a little bit like parting.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I mentioned it a little bit before
that.
that SOS was. I thought that the series would play out like parting versus RiSky, but I didn't mean that SOS would play entirely like parting.
Yeah, and I think SOS, like with this, like he's gonna be able to continue to push in. Like he still has like so many more force fields.
Yeah, continuing to pro behind this. He's just continuing to dry out RiSky's army supply. Once again with the force fields, GG is called.
GG.
And
ties it up.
He will tie that up, showing off a little bit of his experience there, showing off his big brain.
I love how seriously SOS took the counterattack.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He had 4 shield batteries done. Like you don't like I haven't really seen that. Like we've seen a lot of Protoss players lose because of that. Like over these past qualifiers, we've seen Zerg counterattacks. Yeah, underestimating and not taking it like as seriously as you should. And yeah, SOS he reacted very nicely.
I really like the fact that during that push, after he got the shield batteries, he did not waste his units. He knew that it was going to take a little bit of time for RiSky to really get to position. So he sent his adepts out, sent a shade back, and knew that there was a period of time there that he could try to snipe a little bit of units, which would have stayed alive otherwise and contributed to that push.
For sure.
That he really couldn't have dealt with when he's behind a wall. Yeah,
like again, those first like that big like first push of adepts didn't really do anything, but like throughout that aggression that RiSky was trying to apply, like a handful of adepts just kept getting in, you know?
Yeah. And even before that, SOS was really forcing RiSky not to make any drones. So it could have been RiSky's plan from the get-go to go for that 2-base push, but I think with the adepts there to just pressure him, he really could not get an economy up.
You could argue that SOS forced RiSky to play the way SOS wanted him to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I would go so far as to say that.
Yeah.
I would definitely go far as to say that. And speaking of going so far, that's what you do, and trying so hard, or going so far and trying so hard, is what you would call it. We have here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, the player that does go so far on his plane. Does he have a plane? Yeah, he does. I believe his face is still on that plane. So, unless it got taken down, which you can't imagine why. Maybe in favor of Rogue and Maru, because Jinner are like, nope, we only go to the highest payers. We have 2 planes, and we can only go to our highest paid members. And SOS, man, Mr. Eugen, you're a little bit stepping up, man. But speaking of stepping it up, he definitely did that last game. Can he do it once again here in the bottom right-hand corner of Ephemeran LE? Representing the Republic of Korea as well as Jenner Greenwings Team Jaguar, we have a barcode that is known as SOS. A tiger ain't my father.
And in the top left-hand corner of Ephemeran LE, we have representing New Zealand as well as the UK and Zergs everywhere. It is RiSky. Captain Kiwi himself.
I was going to say Captain Kiwi or RiSky. Which is kind of funny because Kiwis cannot fly. So why do you use it as the emblem of your Air Force, New Zealand? I don't quite get it. Why? Answer me this, a Nancy, because I know you're in charge of the Air Force. Just saying, man, pick a new emblem. Pick like a flying fish. Are flying fish in New Zealand?
What are you on about? What? So again, RiSky, like game one, like he was like very aggressive and in SOS's face. Game two, we could argue that SOS kind of forced RiSky to play a certain style. It's hard to say. Like we would have to ask RiSky, right? Like if it was something that he was planning from the beginning or not.
Interview.
Yeah. But this game, honestly,
Yes.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised at the lack of proxies coming out from SOS.
Surprised, disappointed, or just surprised?
Both.
Right.
Surprised and disappointed.
Be...
Yes.
Definitely. I would say that I agree.
Okay.
No too much to add from that. He is getting his Twilight Council first, though, once again this time. Which he waited a little while before getting the Robo Base, so we could see that Glaive it up once again, but no, we do not.
Oh.
Somebody pull up the phone. Somebody call Classic.
I just like trigger him, like from like PTSD from like some PvPs he's had.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a nice change of pace. We've seen, we've had a lot of ZvPs today. We've had nothing but ZvP today, actually. And we've seen a lot of Stargate opening.
You don't have to remind me.
Yeah, and we haven't seen any of that coming out from SOS. He's been pretty diverse with his builds, which is really nice to see.
Well, I mean, game one, he wasn't allowed to execute his build, so... But yeah, I will say that in these two games, he has been fairly diverse. He has not gone Stargate once, as a matter of fact, compared to Nice, who he followed and went Stargate basically every game.
Yeah,
I don't think RiSky is going to scout this. I
would say that Stargate is kind of standard. So that is why it's refreshing to see SOS's play style. And as you said, like RiSky is focusing on the main base, trying to scout what's going on there, but he's gonna miss the Dark Shrine.
So gonna see it. The Dark Shrine is just completed.
Yeah.
War Prison is completed out on the map.
Yeah, it's completed just in time for this.
Oh, RiSky should just see this, maybe. But he is being distracted by the Adepts. I'm thinking these DTs will get a lot of damage done. He's gonna get the start. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's too late. He's making spores, but there's no lair, so he can't make an overseer. It's just spores.
No lair. He even picks up one DT to go straight into the main. He'll pick up all of the DTs, as a matter of fact, to go straight to the main. And he kills a spore.
Oh my god, this is it.
He's just gonna get so much more damage done here.
He's gonna kill the natural.
Without any detection. Or he has one spore, but will it step up? There's nothing here to kill 3 DTs. They are very tanky in this early stage of the game. And he's just getting GG. 21 lanes by the end of that. Very nicely done by SOS. Well, I say nicely, but Nice probably wouldn't have gone for that build, so...
it was...
Dude, the stakes...
That's very much so a rough game.
It's very rough,
to play.
I think SOS has definitely scouted this map down to a T. Do you think maybe if you went for a proxy, it might have been scouted?
Potentially. I mean, especially because like you can have lings out on the map, like you could spot it. But yeah, either way, it was very smart of SOS to put it in his natural, and a little bit of an oversight from RiSky to like not, I don't know, send in his second overlord into the natural or try and get in with the ling. Yeah. You're getting to game 3.
I feel like I know a lot of Protoss players who would giggle, who would love to watch that game. That game in particular.
For sure.
I won't name any names, because if I started naming names, I would not be stopping. I feel like the Protoss players that we're in contact with are pretty fond.
You're gonna send us the Fear Dragon? Is that what we're gonna do?
We're gonna send us Fear Dragon, and he's gonna be the Emperor again. He's gonna pretend to be Palpatine on stream again. It'll be great. Speaking of Palpatine, he is not it, but he may as well be in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. He is the red Protoss. Big brains, big balls, big DTs. we have somebody who is, once again, this is a qualifying match. If he wins this map, he is straight to the close qualifiers. But we shall see how that works out for him. We have the Red Protoss representing Gener Greenwings Jaguar, as well as the Republic of Korea. He is right now a barcode. However, Mr. Ain Alnethak here in chat, I apologize for any mispronunciations, but I also don't, because mispronunciation is my thing. We will remind us that he is known as Mr. Soul of Sky, SOS. Tiger took my brother.
And in the top left-hand corner of Trident LE on match point, this is it. No, if SOS takes it, that's going to be at the end of this Zerg player here, representing New Zealand, the UK, Captain Kiwi himself. It is RiSky. Can I get some hashtag frisky for RiSky in chat? I mean,
can I get some haka dances? Some hoya?
we need like a copy pasta emote for RiSky, to be fair.
That we do. I mean, hashtag frisky for RiSky is a thing, but we do need something better.
We need some emotes involved.
We need something better than frisky for RiSky. I'm gonna say it right now. Frisky for RiSky is lame. It can be better. The emote can be much better. You guys aren't even trying.
2018? Come on.
2018, no more.
So, yeah, like, RiSky, like, he had a strong start, and, like, he isn't playing poorly. It's just, like, especially last game, it did come down to kind of, like, lack of scouting or the strategy from SOS. You can also argue the same thing for game 2 as well. So, I feel like it's going to be on RiSky.
I feel like RiSky so far, would you say that so far in the series, RiSky has been playing it very risky?
No.
No?
No.
Did he not neglect safety spores that game?
So typically you don't make spores unless you scout something, and he didn't.
I mean, you don't make spores.
Scout anything. Typically you don't make spores unless you scout something.
Right. Yeah.
So you could argue that. Oh my, actually, mate, this is happening. It's getting a lot more again
this time.
Yeah. There is a wall this time though.
Does that have 2 openings? Okay, now it definitely only has 1, if any.
Is that 1 opening?
It might not be. Yeah, and SOS did not plug that up in time. We'll be able to get surrounded. He does actually get surrounded in the Zerglings, though.
Wait, he's gonna bust in. Wait, is he?
Ooh, yeah, he does. He's in once again. And SOS does not get a surround this time.
Ooh, he does get the probe, but he's gonna get the adept at least. He should be able to get the stalker as well.
He'll also get the stalker, yeah.
He doesn't get the probe.
SOS will plug this hole.
Yeah.
But I think the damage has already been done. There's not a lot here that can really clean this out.
It's unfortunate because you saw RiSky. He went to try and target down that probe before it plugged up the wall, but he was just a little bit too late. And because of that, there are a bunch of reinforcing links, but they won't be able to bust in and end the game.
It is accurate. That's a lot of pylons.
It is a lot of pylons, but he may be able to bust through this gateway. We'll see. Like, he does have a lot of sentries with a lot of force field energy. That's the problem here.
The problem.
Yeah. The problem for RiSky, I should say. Yeah. Man, I want to see this go all the way to game 5. All right. Oh my God, the force field.
That's a nice isolation
these
there.
Things. Yeah, he's gonna be able to keep force fielding.
Oh, this is a big brain play.
Mate.
He's getting another one. Manine.
He's trying to focus down the robo.
The robo, yeah. Make sure that there are no warp prisons coming out of SOS, but this is still decently good for RiSky. I mean, he is down in terms of workers, but he's got his 3rd base, and he's containing SOS.
I mean, you say down in terms of workers, he is just making 10 workers, so he will be able to catch up. Yeah, and he has that freedom to do so because SOS is currently contained on 2 bases. He's completely walled in. He is working on that warp prism, so he should be able to bust out.
Ooh, this is dangerous. Warping in the adepts outside of the wall.
Yeah, but it is also kind of like a bait because if RiSky commits, he will get force fielded in.
I think it's not. I think it's less of a bait and more of a big dick energy. It could be both, but
yeah, they can be one and the same.
It could be both. Yeah.
But yeah, meanwhile, we do have RiSky transitioning into roaches. I am a little bit worried. I feel like, oh, never mind. RiSky did go into the main with his Overwatch. He did scout just to make sure there wasn't any hidden tech. So, you know, he does know what he's up against. He knows there's no Stargate or, I don't know, Robo facility or like anything hidden, I should say.
And he's going for his lair behind us, so RiSky should be very, very safe. Assuming he deflects these Adepts. The Adepts are unupgraded. So that will be a thing, but we'll have to worry or watch out for how they shade and where they shade.
For sure, for sure. You know, he's just going in, testing the waters, you know, seeing where RiSky's army is, and he's trying to go for multi-prong. Yeah.
I think RiSky should have just enough. We'll lose a bit of mining time, though, which is always annoying.
Yeah, he will lose a handful of workers as well. 4 workers going down. He could get a couple more, actually. Yeah. The units weren't here. Oh my god, he pulled everything from the third.
Yeah, it's really commit. He has committed. But he's actually getting a little bit cut out now, SOS will. Or would have.
RiSky being a little bit careless in the end, losing 6 workers. But,
well, I mean, it's really hard if you're RiSky, right? Because it's at this stage of the game where you just started joining up, you just started getting your army in, and then all of a sudden your opponent comes in on both directions. You don't know what to prioritize with this small army. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we did see this in game number 2 as well, where unfortunately, like, these Adepts would like sneak in and he would lose like a handful of workers here and there. And here we have it again, right? We have the Warp Prism coming in, we have these Adepts coming into the natural.
Well, I think this time RiSky does have a much better economic advantage than in that game 2. But we'll see how long that lasts.
Another 6 workers go down to 2 Adepts. And potentially more, we'll see. Behind this, SOS, you know, he is getting a 3rd base and he is getting his immortal count up.
He's just knocked down his wall. So he's starting to build up to a push. He's also got his Archons behind this and +1. It's going to be, if that Soul Train push on game 2 was deadly, I think, well, it won't have as many sentries, let's put it that way.
I mean, I imagine we're probably going to see RiSky push out soon with his +1 range. Like, he, you know, Glad Reconstitution has just finished up. You know, he's finishing up a bunch of Ravagers as well. So we could see a timing come out. I don't know how effective it'll be. Like, he does have a pretty large supply lead. It will kind of depend on like how much SOS has like as a buffer to protect his immortals. Like, that's what it's all going to be about, like protecting those immortals. He doesn't have that many sentries.
Nodding my head as we go along. He does not have a lot of sentries this time, but he does have he has 2 Archons, which I think does even things out in terms of.
It's important to note. Yeah, like the sentries that SOS does have, like they are on full energy, so you know he does have a lot to work with.
Oh yeah. He's got a lot of gateways he can very quickly warp in, like we saw in that previous game.
He spots this with his Overseer. He knows. Our Observer.
SOS spots this with his Overseer? Oh, his Observer. There we go.
Yeah. So he's going to be getting in position for this. Will he have enough, though, to defend?
I think he might have just enough. The force field usage are very, very nicely placed. But there are a lot of Ravages here for RiSky.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's enough.
I think SOS is starting to bleed out a little bit, but the Immortals are really starting to show through. Yes. Yeah. The Immortals are starting to push through. This was a very deadly position from SOS. But he just pushed forward.
4 workers go down.
4 workers do go down. And I don't even know how or why. I think he had a couple of Adepts there that he just shaded in and been like, alright, set it and forget it.
Yeah, I imagine so. But yeah, that's the problem where if you're going for a Roach Ravager push, you kind of have to hit like early on before the Protoss player has like this mass of immortal and like buffer as well. It's kind of hard to fight into that. And RiSky, he may be getting caught out of position here.
He might, but this could also be pretty good for RiSky though, if he is able to snipe the 3rd of SOS and move back.
He's coming back for it. Yeah.
He is coming back for it. That being said, SOS though, he's moving out with a better army. He also has a recall available to him. +2 is just about to finish.
Yeah.
And unless he's very, very careless, which from the force field usage, he doesn't look like it.
Oh, there's not much buffer here. He RiSky should be able to push through and start targeting down the Immortals.
Sentries are out of energy. There isn't enough, but there's so much DPS from these sentries, though. These Immortals rather. These Immortals will go down, but not before taking out quite a number with him.
Yeah, well, it's all about what's happening here in the main now. The area's gonna go down. Yeah.
The Archons are still alive. Sentries are being warped in once again. And even if RiSky cleans this up, I think he'll still be very, very bloodied from this simple engagement.
Yeah, and there are sentries here, so he could force field the ramp as well and cut.
Well, he could force field the ramp, but for what purpose? We're gonna play good luck. And SOS, Soul of Sky, Mr. Kim Yoo-jin will be the first player that we know of who will qualify for the closed qualifiers tomorrow.
Yeah. With that, we do have SOS moving on. Unfortunately, for the fans of RiSky, he does get knocked out, and that is the end of his tournament run. We mentioned it before, there will be an open bracket at Katowice, so if you wanted to, they could fly over. You know, any player who doesn't qualify through the online qualifiers, they could try their luck at the open bracket.
Yeah, we have actually seen, I believe it was Sue last year who went through the open bracket and won the whole thing. I believe before that it was also Rogue, I believe, did not qualify, but he flew out to the open qualifiers and then won from there. So it is possible.
Yeah. So, you know, it does kind of depend. Like, RiSky is in Korea. I imagine he wants to be there for a while, you know, to practice and train. But yeah, we could see him, you know, fly over to Poland to try and compete. It will be nice to see.
That's got to be rough. I mean, that's got to be pretty rough if you're RiSky, right? Because IEM is in. Actually, no, there's a little bit of time. Well, I say that, but arguably that's a little bit worse because I was gonna say RiSky from UK. He's gonna fly down to Korea and then get used to the time zone there, and then fly over to Poland, and have to go back to that time zone. But yeah, Kuro is reminding us that we will go into a quick little 2-minute break, and after that we will find a new series to cast for you.